We all make economic decisions on a daily basis. Whether it's at the grocery store, figuring out what kind of oatmeal we're going to buy, or whether we're buying a car, often we're going to try to optimize our utility as best as we can and go for the cheapest option. However, as time has gone on and the issues of global climate change and increased costs and fuels come to play, cars are now kind of a whole different beast. We often look at the efficiency of the vehicle and we ask questions like, how much fuel does this use? How much is it going to be to run this vehicle time in and time out? This is where the whole idea for the Housing Sustainability Index was born. Why can't we do the same thing for our houses? First off, let's identify our main stakeholders. The first main stakeholder is the greater Bellingham community. This area is it's almost mystical. Anyone who's stayed here longer than a month falls in love with this place, and with that comes a responsibility to be conscious of what we're doing and really take care of this area, take care of this area that's just full of natural beauty. With that being said, most of us live sustainable lifestyles. However, our housing stock doesn't usually reflect this. What we hope to do is really try to push more sustainable development, which will help us to actually live out those ideals. Another aspect of the Housing Sustainability Index is we want to help people save money. Utility costs are expensive and they're constantly rising year after year. For people who are moving into a new apartment who may not know how much it's going to cost, we want to help give them the information that they're looking for. The second main stakeholder are the rental property management firms in the city of Bellingham. Now, it may seem weird that we're going to try to it may look to you as if we're trying to go ahead and butt heads with these companies, but that's not the case. We want to try to create a partnership in order to allow sustainable development to take off. For property management firms that are looking to actually partner with us and partner with the greater goals of the city, there's a couple big incentives that come along with that. First off, typically newer units are constantly rented out. They're not going to sit on the market for a very long time being empty and not making you any money. Also, even just doing upgrades on existing units, these are all great investments and they give you steady cash flow and an often great return on investment. So far, I've used the term sustainable development and I haven't really defined it. And so for those of you who don't know what sustainable development is, here's just a slide depicting what sustainable development looks like. First off, a new sustainable development is fairly compact. It's dense. It's a mix of uses and it allows people to connect, whether it's walking down the street or maybe it's just at the coffee shop or whatever. But one of the big aspects of it is that it is very much walkable or bikeable. There's no huge need for a car, whereas if you go out to Linden or you live out in Sudden Valley, you're definitely going to need a car to get around. This is what we hope to turn Bellingham into, and we hope to show people working at any city that sustainability is not just something that a big city can do, it's something that everyone can do. So here's the scenario. You're looking to rent a place. Maybe it's the first time you've rented and you're a little jittery and you're thinking you have no idea what's going on. Maybe you're someone who's rented plenty of times before. Maybe you're new to the area and you just don't know what to expect. The The main pillar of the Housing Sustainability Index is to provide you with information that is essential to making a decision as to where you live. A lot of us go into these situations and think, what's the cheapest rent that I can pay for my building? Only to be freaked out at how much it costs to actually live there. Utilities can be outrageous in older buildings that are typically the buildings that cost less. And what we want to do is try to help you not look like this guy when you look at your first utility bill. Now we're just going to go into a few quick case studies. I'd like to point out to all of you that are watching that all these case studies represent private enterprises, private businesses that are actually partnering with us for this project. Many of these businesses are either providing us assistance just by, bouncing ideas back and forth, or as in the case for Rent Rocket, which I'll go into further detail, they're actually giving us some of their code or their APIs, which is basically all the inner workings of their websites for us to play around with and get something going. And so here's Rent Rocket. Rent Rocket is run by the city of Bloomington, Indiana. The municipality has created a website with all different kinds of rentals with which you can actually go further and you can on these rentals. As you can see here on this page, it shows you the current rent as well as monthly estimates for electricity and natural gas. And it gives you a total cost per month to run it. Into Rent Rocket's website is the code for another company called Interscore. Basically, Interscore has the building permit information for upwards of 10 million homes around the United States. With this, they're able to estimate how much electricity is used for heating, cooling, and just the general base load of a house, determined by how it's heated, how it's cooled, and also the year at which the building was built. As you can see, there are some issues with it. It's a little skewed, and so they've provided us a great baseline to look at. However, we're not partnering with them at this time. A big aspect of this, as we said earlier, is partnering with property management firms. Having the contact information and allowing them to really interface with us as well as with their tenants is going to be huge, and that's what we want to try to promote here. We're not going to dock anybody necessarily for not participating, but at least with this information here, they'll be able to see, hey, are they actually taking strides to do something, or are they just being passive property owners? Also on Rent Rocket's website, you have smart living features. This could be something like recycling, it could be bike racks, or any other kinds of things. This is something that's very fluid and something that will be worked on in the final website. But we want to try to highlight things that are popular for people and make it easy out there. This is just an idea of the scoring system that we would use. So it's very clear, whereas you can see with Interscore, it gives you just this arbitrary score that you don't know what to do with. For example, the consumption score is based on a scale from 1 to 5, 1 being very inefficient, 5 being highly efficient. The same for the community score. 1 out of 5 is not walkable, 5 out of 5 is very walkable, which I'll go into more detail as we look at some different projects. Another company that has chosen to work with us is called Watson. Watson is a business based out of Southern California, which works with nonprofit organizations and utilities to help track utility usage and make that information more available in a visual format to the customers that input their information. If you've ever done anything with the Bellingham Energy Prize, you've probably interfaced with Watson's website before, and it's pretty easy to use. As you can see, all you got to do is put in your login information for Puget Sound Energy and or Cascade Natural Gas, and at that time you lease the information to whoever's wanting to look at it, whether it's a nonprofit organization, whether it's like Sustainable Connections or some other, the city. In the example, the Bellingham Energy Prize, it provides them that information, and they can use it for whether they're trying to find how much energy is saved or just the total amount of energy used. It also breaks everything out. It breaks out your data not only from a historical aspect, but from going on a month-by-month aspect until you move out of that property or the account changes for that property. And like I said, just as easy as logging in and you're good to go. Finally, we have Walk Score. Looked at Zillow or apartments.com trying to find a place to live, you've probably seen a little score, little print Walk Score, a score from 0 to 100. Walk Score is a company based out of Seattle, Washington that's really promoting the whole idea of walkability in their housing decisions. Walkability, especially in the urban planning realm, is described as basically how easy is it to get around without a car. A lot of planners talk about the quarter-mile walk or the 5-minute walk, and that's really what new development is shifting towards. However, for current development, Walk Score provides us a great amount of information. First off, you can see the different amenities nearby. You can see whether there's restaurants or coffee shops or even transit stops. And it also displays it in a very visual and easy to use format. As you can see, there's a house right here at the corner of East Chestnut and Billy Frank Jr. Street that's going to be in the green area, so it's going to be upwards of 75 for its walkability score. Walk Score also provides scores on the transit and also the bike lanes, how all that works. And basically, they all function under the same format. The closer the property is to a location, or the higher the number of amenities near a location, the higher score it receives. And so this is something that we hope to use for the community score. Walk Score is actually providing us with a free version of their API and their interface, which we can integrate into our website however we choose, which is super exciting, and we thank them immensely for their support, as well as Watson and Rent Rocket. As you can see, this project is still not quite finished, and you may be thinking, what are the next steps that we're taking? First off, we're going to continue working with the computer science department on campus to work on getting our website set up. I may not have told you that earlier, but this thing is being built from the ground up, essentially. Seniors in the computer science program take a capstone project where they work with someone, actually get a features list going, and build a website. And we hope to continue to work with them and have something rolling by winter of 2017 at the latest. Next, once we get a website up and running, we hope to run a pilot program. There's a couple great property management firms that have provided us with the opportunity to run pilot programs, both of those being Painless Properties, which is just off campus, nice walk right at 21st and Bill McDonald, and also the newer North by Northwest Properties, which is going up over by Lincoln Street, right by Fred Meyer. They have offered us the opportunity to partner with them, and we hope to do that in the near future. Finally, we've talked with Seth Adania, who is the sustainability coordinator for Western Washington University, about hiring a student to run this website. As you can see, it's not something that can be continued in the class format. It's something where the work's already done and we just need someone to oversee it. And that's in the works right now. They're trying to figure out funding for that, but there might be some more stuff going around, so stay tuned. Anyways, thank you for your time. Have a great day.